Hello and good evening to you. Welcome to News 360 and it's live from our news hub here at Desawa in Kanda. My name is Alfredo Kanse.
And I'm Natalie Force. Let's take a look at the headlines for the next 1 hour.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Agaveji and the Ketu South Municipality request emergency support after Saturday's tidal waves swept through their communities, rendering them homeless.
Meanwhile, the National Disaster Management Organization, ADMO, says government would have to evacuate people residing along tidal waves to prevent also further happenings.
And government releases 78.5 million cedis as part payment of debts owed caterers under the school feeding program.
And on the international front, 11 people, including 8 security officers, killed in exchange of gunfire after gunmen attacked a prison in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, freeing hundreds of inmates and rebels.
Thanks for staying with us. This is News 360. As the bulletin goes on, remember we are streaming live on 3news.com as well as News on TV3 on Facebook. Our first story this evening, Ghana's efforts in the fight against child labor has been described as unacceptable. A non-governmental organization, Global Rescue Project, says poverty and lack of political will are to blame for the slow pace of progress.
The UN Sustainable Development Goal 8 seeks to eliminate all forms of child labor by 2025. No child should be left behind in this. In Ghana, thousands of children are trapped in hazardous work on the Volta Lake. The Global Slavery Index Survey 2016 indicated that 21,000 children are forced to work in the fishing industry on the Volta Lake. Some of these children are as young as 4 years.
The government here has got to help the people on the islands especially so that they have a better way to survive. So if you eliminate poverty, then you help eliminate child trafficking. When there's no need to buy children, then it'll be done.
Godfred dropped out of school at age 7. For 5 years, he has been on the lake fishing. Near Bakpakope in the Sene East district of the Bonohafo region, Godfred, together with David and Felix, engaged in fishing. David, now 21, has done this all his life. He now leads the 2 younger siblings, Felix 11 and Godfred 13. Just like David, their lives depend on the Lake Volta. These children aged between 5 and 13 were just about leaving for a second fishing expedition on Wednesday, June 7 at Oparama. The founder of Global Rescue Project, Le Stenzel, who has been on the lake for the past 5 years campaigning and rescuing children, has encountered many of these scenarios.
Every time I don't see less children, I see the same amount of children. And these children don't have a voice. And to educate the people that there has to be a better way to come together instead of buying children.
So what is the problem?
Poverty. When you have people that are living in such poor conditions that they have to go out and do what they can to survive, they buy children to help them.
Until the traffickers, slave masters and parents who give out their awards are brought to justice, thousands of children will continue to risk their lives on the Volta Lake each day.
In some of the cases, I get disappointed. For the past 10 years of vigorous education, I was expecting that at least somewhere people should begin to realize that even how far we've brought them with mindset change, children should be even directed towards getting themselves into education.
The Global Rescue Project says children are being robbed of their childhood every minute, and the time to act is now.
Let's still stay a bit further with this. The Chief of Staff, Akosua Fremont-Selpare, has challenged institutions and civil society groups to research into the impact of internal conflicts in Ghana and on child labor as well. This, she said, would enable government secure adequate funds to provide reforms to support affected children.
Staff made the observation to commemorate this year's Child Labor Day. The theme for the celebration is protecting children in times of disasters and conflicts. Available figures from the International Labour Organization ILO indicate that 168 million children are involved in child labor worldwide. Out of the figure, 70 million children are found in the disaster and conflict-prone areas. In the case of Ghana, 21.8% of children are involved in child labor, but not in the conflict zones. For these reasons, the Chief of Staff, Akosua Fremont-Selpare, has requested institutions and civil society groups to research into the impact of conflict on children.
Relevant to our Ghana situation, what these internal conflicts and disasters that we face, what have been the impact on child labor in the country, and hence the welfare of our dear ones.
The Deputy Minister of Employment and Labour Relations, Bright Rekubrobe, emphasized the need to start the second phase of the Plan of Action on Child Labour, intended to address issues on funding and mobilizing resources.
The implementation of the action plan will assure the local community that the government is committed to the fight against child labour through legislations, through policies, programs, initiatives, and national action plans like the MPA2.
The Deputy Secretary General of TUC, Joshua Lansan, charged the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations to audit how funds were used in the first phase. He again suggested that government should endeavour to reform children at Denchirabuase after the murder incident.
Anything good come out of the children in Denchirabuase, we either support them and help them to reform and become better adults, or continue to stigmatize and live with the result.
Other speakers called on government to facilitate the fight against child labor.
Rights of children.
The constitutional rights of.
In other stories this evening, government has released 78.5 million cedis as part payment of debts owed caterers under the school feeding program. According to the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, all outstanding arrears for the second and third terms of 2016-2017 academic year would be cleared by July.
In May 2017, scores of caterers for the National School Feeding Program besieged the premises of the Ministry for Gender, Children and Social Protection, demanding the payment of their arrears. According to some of the caterers, they had not been paid for more than 8 months. This resulted in some negotiations with the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection.
Government has released payments for 70 school feeding days to our caterers, which is 78,502 cedis, 931.99 pesos.
Government says it is committed to sustain the program and has made part payment in honor of an agreement reached with the caterers.
All other outstanding arrears, that is arrears for second term of 2016-17 academic year, as well as the third term of the same year, will be cleared by the close of July 2017.
But government has warned caterers for the program to respect the terms and conditions of the contract or be sanctioned.
Every caterer is supposed to cook on every school-going day for the children. There's no excuse. Caterers who do not cook should not expect payment from the school feeding program.
Now, the Youth Employment Agency, YA, has denied transferring hundreds of employees under the program for political reasons. The acting executive director of the agency, Justin Kodia-Frimpong, is saying that an audit revealed some persons on the program either did not have a contract or a letter of assumption of work. He gave the assurance genuine concerns of affected persons will be resolved within 1 month.
Over 200 workers of the Youth Employment Agency have been affected in the latest transfer, which was intended to reposition the agency for higher productivity, according to management. The transfers follow the deletion of some 16,000 people from the agency's payroll. Staff of the Youth Employment Agency from the northern part of Ghana are being transferred to the south and vice versa.